गुरु माऊली तू निर्मळ मनाची, गुरु माऊली तू निर्मळ मनाची, गुरु माऊली तू निर्मळ मनाची. गुरु कृपा जशी, गुरु कृपा जशी, गुरु कृपा जशी दया सागराची. गुरु माऊली तू निर्मळ मनाची, गुरु माऊली तू निर्मळ मनाची, गुरु माऊली तू.
All of you are in my heart. And I love you very much. And I want you people to come as soldiers to fight with me. It's possible with the power of love, with the power of love, with the power of love.
अनेक वर्षों से, अनंत काल से गुरुओं के बारे में बताया गया है कि एक तो होते हैं सद्गुरु, जो कि आपको परमात्मा से मिला. सद्गुरु वही जो साहिब मिले, जो आपको परमात्मा से मिलाता है वो सद्गुरु. फिर गुरु जो कि परमात्मा के बारे में बातचीत करके आप में धर्म बिठाता है. What does a guru do? Whatever you have, all the precious things within you, he discovers them for your knowledge. So the Guru's job is to make you know what you are. So a Guru who doesn't talk of realization, who doesn't talk of Kundalini, who doesn't talk of ascent, who doesn't talk of second birth, cannot be a Guru. Minimum of minimum. आप ही अपने गुरु हैं और किसी को गुरु बनाने की जरूरत नहीं. लेकिन माँ से बढ़ के गुरु कौन है? माँ तो सब गुरुओं की भी माँ है. और आप चाहे तो हमारे चरणों में बैठे, चाहे हमारे गोद में बैठे, चाहे हमारे सर पे बैठे, हमारे आप बच्चे हैं. Last time you had asked me for Guru Pada. And you should know that the essence of Guru is Sri Ganesha, the innocence. You must be knowing the story of a very devoted wife, faithful wife of a Sati. Her name was Anasuya. And she was so religious and so dedicated that they say that the wives of all the gods, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesha, got very jealous of her. So they told their husband that you must go and test her. if she is really a woman with chastity or not. So all of them came down as sadhus, dressed up like sannyasis. And she said she wanted to serve them, give them something. They said, no, we want to have food. She said, all right, come and sit down. She cooked food for them. So they said, no, we will not have the food unless and until you take out all your clothes. We'll only have the food if you take out all your clothes. She said, is it so? She said, yes. So she made them into little children, 3 little children. And then she became nude. Because innocent doesn't understand anything about it. And then she joined them together. Their 3 innocence was joined together. And they got their Gurupad. That's how the Adi Guru was created. So the first thing is that if you want your Gurupad, you have to be innocent.
गुरु तत्व बना कैसे, इसको समझना चाहिए कि गुरु तत्व अनादि है और वो कैसा बनाया गया। हमारे अंदर 3 शक्तियाँ अदृश्य रूप से कार्यान्वित रहती हैं। प्रथम शक्ति जो है उसको हम कहते हैं महाकाली की शक्ति। तो हमारे पास एक तो महाकाली की शक्ति है और दूसरी हमारे पास महासरस्वती की शक्ति है। ये दोनों शक्तियाँ एक और तीसरी शक्तियों से प्लावित हैं, जो कि महत्वपूर्ण है और जो ही हमारी कमाई है। आज हमारी मानव चेतना जिस स्तर पे पहुंची है, ये हमारी तीसरी शक्ति की द्योतक है, ये महालक्ष्मी की शक्ति है। लेकिन ये तीनों शक्तियां हमारे अंदर हैं और इन तीनों शक्तियों का समन्वय जहाँ होता है, ये तीनों शक्तियां जब एकत्रित हो जाती हैं और इन तीनों शक्तियों का जब बिल्कुल बाल्य स्वरूप पैदा हो जाता है कि जो किसी भी चीज़ से खराब नहीं हो सकता, जिसके अंदर किसी भी तरह की त्रुटियां नहीं आ सकती, जिसके अंदर किसी तरह का अहंकार नहीं आ सकता, जो बिल्कुल हमेशा नवीन रहता है, ये तत्व गुरु तत्व है।
I am your mother and your guru. So you can understand how Sri Ganesha worshipped his mother. You all are created in the same image of Sri Ganesha, who worshipped his mother, and then he became the Adi Guru, the first Guru. He is the primordial essence of mastery. Only the mother can make the child a master. And the motherhood in any Guru, whether male or female, can only make the disciple a Guru. So first, you have to become the prophets and develop that motherhood within yourself. Then you can make others also prophets. Now, to become a Guru, what do we have to do after our realization? Guru word means gravity. Gravity means a person who is grave, who is deep, who is magnetic. Now, as you have learnt in Sahaja Yoga, that realization takes place in complete effortlessness. So normally a guru tries to make his disciples effortless. It is called as prayatna shaithilya, means relax your efforts. Without doing anything, you got your prayatna shaithilya, otherwise Kundalini would not have risen. Then the second stage is vichara shaithilya, the thoughtless awareness. This also you got it without doing anything. And the third is complete negation of thought, abhava, and the bliss of peace. So one has to understand that you have to pass them through 3 stages. First, when you get your realization, all these things come spontaneously for that moment. When you raise the Kundalini of others, these things happen to them spontaneously. You too have that power now to raise the Kundalini of people and to establish it in them. But we must understand why it has to be done that way. Why we have to have Vichara Shaitilya. Because when you project any thought, it is artificial. It is not reality. Thought always stands between you and the reality. When you put in an effort, you stand against becoming. For example, if I have to cure you, I just put my hand and finished. No effort. Because I am that. You get your realization because I am that. I don't put in any effort, I don't think about it. I am that. Just looking at someone, it can be done. Just putting attention to someone, it can be done. Just with a small desire, it can be done. Because you are that. You can mold it the way you like. You can get an example from gold. Now gold is untarnishable. It does not have to think it is untarnishable. It does not have to put in an effort it is untarnishable. It is. So to be, you don't have to put in any effort. If you have to put in an effort, that means you are not yet that. If you look at the sun, it shines. It doesn't have to put in effort to shine. It shines. So to be that, if you have to put in an effort, that means you are not that. You are trying, you are artificial. The flowers are beautiful, so they don't have to beautify themselves. And this is what one has to understand, that innately if you are that, if you have already become, then what is the need to put in any more effort? But when we say these things, you see, then people think you have to be lethargic, that you need not do anything. You become a guru without doing anything. That's why at the very outset I said it goes in stages. So the first stage is of Sri Ganesha. How he surrenders to the Shakti, to the Mother. That is the beginning. If one cannot surrender, that doesn't mean you don't do anything. But surrendering means the worship, the respect of the higher, the obedience to the higher, not to argue it out, not to react, acceptance, absorption, like a child absorbs the milk of the mother, without questioning, without reasoning. That's why Christ has said, you have to become like children. But if you are questioning, then you are no more a child. So first is the state which you have to develop, is the childlike state. But child, which is a realized child, which has to have a gravity. So now to become the guru, first of all, you should have a great sense of forgiveness. So much so like Buddha's. Once Buddha was giving a lecture in a village, and suddenly somebody came in and started abusing him, saying all kinds of things and all that. Then somebody told him, what are you doing? He is Buddha, the one who is enlightened one. He is trying to help us to become good, and you came and shouted at him. So he was repentant. He went to see Buddha, but Buddha had gone to another village. So he went to another village, second day, and he went and fell at the feet of Lord Buddha. Lord Buddha said, what's the matter? Why are you falling at my feet? He said, sir, I must say that I didn't know You were the enlightened one, I just shouted at you, said things, I don't know what happened to me. So please forgive me. He said, when did you say this to me? Yesterday. Where? In such place. He said, yesterday is finished now. What is there to forgive? Now, he came begging of his forgiveness, repenting immediately. He said, yesterday is over. That is one of the greatest qualities Sahajogis should have. Ego makes you very arrogant, horrible. But if you are humble, really, not to just to have the humility of a businessman, but if you are humble from within yourself, from your heart, enjoying your humility, then this ego can run away. You have to ask yourself, now what are you angry for? Again I come back to the same point, introspection. Because you are not here just to carry on some jobs, but you are here to become saints. Then this ego should be made into a great instrument of love and joy. You can. It's not difficult. This one is what is ego is reactions to things. You can react to things in a sweet way, or you can react to things in a deadly way. Then humor comes in. Also, you speak as if there is fragrant flowers which are coming out. Then every action of yours, everything becomes very gentle and sweet. Have this ego. That will be gentle, will be kind, will be sweet, will be forgiving, will be loving. Let's have this ego. Start with this kind of a ego the other way round. You will be surprised how you can really conquer the whole world. On this day of Guru Puja, his Guru is supposed to tell something to his disciples about correcting themselves. In my own sweet way I have said to you, which you shouldn't mind. I don't mean to condemn you by any chance, but to give you a proper sense of introspection. Proper sense of introspection by which you all get your Guru Pada. The Guru principle being drawn beautifully round the Nabhi chakra. You never see any chakras connected with the Guru principle. You see Nabhi, and around is the Bhavasagara. So this Bhavasagara, which is the ocean of illusion, cannot be the Guru. So there are hidden chakras within this Bhavasagara, within us, which are to be awakened and to be brought to light, to be manifested. As you can see that the limits of this principle are done by the movement of the Swadhisthana chakra. Swadhisthana is the chakra which gives you first and foremost thing, is the creativity. A person who is a guru has to be creative by nature. If you are not a creative person, you cannot become a guru. For it, we come to the point that the creativity, if it is our aim, lakshya, for that the attention we should purify and to be purified with love, with compassion. And the same attention, when it is filled with love and compassion, it gives you dynamism, it gives you strength, it's untiring zeal you get. And the joy of seeing your reflection into another person is very beautiful. No words can describe it. Actually, when you give realization to another person, what you try to see is your image in that person. As if out of an ordinary glass, you are making it into a beautiful mirror. And then you want to see that. That is how you create. You create your own reflections, and through the cleansing of the reflectors, once you understand that without creativity, this Guru Puja is useless for you. So to mature, first of all, you should know you are now Sahajogis, and that you can control the whole situation if you are one with this all-pervading power. It's very simple. It was very hot. Everybody was saying it's very hot. All right. I got up. I said, I'll make it. Within 15 minutes, I made it cool. I say I made it. I. But it's not I. My connection with this all-pervading power has done the job. But the connection has to be sincere, strong, honest, and all the time in your mind you should know that you are connected. This situation is very simple to achieve, this state where you all the time feel, I am one with the Divine. Because you are not alert, you don't want to see the miracles of this great power which you are in connection. You are busy with other things. Your attention is somewhere else. You're looking at other things. And then suddenly you say, Mother, how is it I am such a Sahajogi, I could not do this and that. What's going on there? Even when I am speaking, I see people are busy with something else. So what you call is to mature through your meditation in nirvicharita, in thoughtless awareness. Unless and until you enlarge the state of thoughtless awareness, you cannot mature, because only in the present you can mature. And present is thoughtless awareness. So now we have the other phase, as I told you, is of becoming the guru of yourself, detaching yourself, identifying yourself with the spirit which is growing in its life. So detachment. One has to develop detachment. My mother, it starts like, my mother is suffering from cancer. My father is suffering from madness. Mother, can you cure them? So now first I cure mother and father. Then I am married. My wife is like this, my child is like this. Then my house, then my motor car, then my dog, then my umbrella. I have to go on struggling from A to Z, from Z to A. Alright? I can do up to a point. But for what? For what? Why to cure the mother, father, brothers, sisters, every relationship, the 10th marriage and the 11th divorce? Why to correct all this? For what? It must have some purpose. And if that purpose cannot be served, what is the use of doing? The purpose is that you at least leave all these things into my hand and detach yourself. But you want to bring the case to me as well as worry about it. Detachment. Attachment means death of love. Complete death of love is attachment. For example, in a tree, say, the sap rises, goes to all the leaves, goes to all the necessary parts, all the flowers, all the fruits, and goes back to the Mother Earth. It is not attached to anyone. Supposing the sap goes and gets attached into one fruit, what will happen? The tree will die and the fruit will die. Detachment gives you the movement of your love, circulation of it. It is important that in Sahaja Yoga you have to be strict with yourself. That's why I said that you have to be your own guru, which people do not understand what it means. You have to be your own guru means you have to guide yourself, you have to treat yourself as your disciple. And you have to trim yourself. If you do not understand the responsibility as Sahaja of working it out yourself, everything, you cannot move very fast. Because it is a different type of relationship between the Guru and the disciples. So first I have always said you become your own Guru. So you have to make a lot of introspection and fix your ideals. Before you, I am sitting. You have seen me how I am. I can eat anything. I need not eat at all for days together. I can sleep anywhere. I may not sleep at all. I travel for miles together, untiringly. I have this energy because I am a guru of myself. also. So the first thing is that there should be a lot of introspection. What's wrong with me, not wrong with others? What's wrong with me? Am I seeking the comfort of my body? The attention, is it on my body or on my spirit? If so, what am I doing? I think best thing is to write it down. Can I sleep on the grass? Can I sit on the stone? You have to make this body work. Can I sleep anytime I like, and can I keep awake anytime I like? I've seen people doze off. The reason is this, not that they're bad or in any way indisciplined people, but because inside they are tired. If you are tired inside, then you feel tired all the time. You will see on the television, if you see people in the West, they are always sitting like this. Because they are so very tired. Why are they so tired? They don't work so hard. So introspect how you behave. Now when you start introspecting yourself, you'll also start introspecting your surroundings and your styles and your methods and what you are doing to yourself because of the conditionings of the outside. So a guru cannot belong to any religion, because these religions are also man-made. They have created such a problem all over, and they are all fighting among themselves. How can they be divine? So you should not get involved into some sort of a religious bias. I've seen it, that a Sahajogi, say if he is a Christian, then the bias will be shown that he is a Christian, you can make it out. If he is a Jew, you can make it out. So what's the use of coming to Sahaja Yoga? Their attention, if it goes inside, they'll find out. You have to dissect yourself to see what's wrong with you and why is it that you are not very successful as a guru. The success of the guru is he doesn't bother about time. Every time is the holy time. For he is not bothered if somebody is late or has come early. He is not a slave of watches and time. This is also man-made. There were no watches about, I think, 300 years back. And nobody was so particular about the timing. So first thing, he is beyond time. Kalatita. Then he is also Gunatit. Gunatit means he doesn't belong to the left side or to the right side or to the center. He is beyond these three, beyond these gunas, where he stands and sees everything in the divine light. Everything. If something good happens to him, he said the divine light has done. If something bad happens to him, he said the divine light wanted this way. Everything he leaves for the divine light. He is beyond the gunas.
सबसे पहली चीज़ इस शक्ति में ये है कि ये शक्ति में कोई धर्मांधता नहीं। सन्यासी की कोई जात नहीं होती, कोई वर्ण नहीं होता है। वो सन्यासी का मतलब ऐसा है कि वो सब जाति धर्म सबको मानता है और अगर कोई भी गुरु अपने को किसी एक विशेष धर्म का अभिनेता समझे तो समझ लेना चाहिए कि ये गुरु नहीं। गुरुत्व की पहली शक्ति यह है कि उसके अंदर सर्वधर्म का जो कुछ भी निचोड़ है, इसेंस है, उसकी जो नूतनता है, उसका जो भोलापन है, वो उसके अंदर भरा होना चाहिए। कोई भी मनुष्य अपने को किसी धर्म गुरु के नाम से सामने आता है तो समझ लेना चाहिए कि ये एक झूठा आदमी है और इसके पीछे का जो धर्म है वो भी महाझूठा है।
A person who worships his guru tries to be an expert in his work. Like supposing there's a person who is an engineer. He doesn't care for money. He doesn't care for fame. He doesn't care for applauses from others. What he cares is, does he really understand his subject matter? It won't be mediocrity. Musician has to be perfectly a musician. Artist has to be a perfect artist. He does not use the general methods of expertise, but his spirit, the guidance of his spirit, he tries to improve. Like there's a poet, he tries to improve his poetry on the level of his spirit, but not on the level of money. Because normally people would write things just to please the majority of the people so they can sell their books, or something filthy, which is not benevolent to the society, not to the name of the writer. They don't mind. They become shameless about it. So, not that the Guru himself has the value system, but through his lifestyle, through his own preachings, through his own behavior, he radiates gravity to others. No one can harm. You have to believe me when I say that. No one can harm you, but you must have that faith within yourself. Nobody had Adi Shakti as the Guru. Adi Shakti, the one who has all the powers of the world. So who can harm you? Who can torture you? Who can trouble you except for yourself if you want to torture yourself? Nobody can help. So the greatest difference between this disciple of other gurus and yourself is you don't have to suffer. You are not to suffer. We are resting on this Mother Earth because of her gravity. Everything is attracted to Mother Earth because of her gravity. So you get a magnetic temperament, magnetic character, magnetic personality. And this magnetic personality that you develop immediately shows that it is manifesting its power. Try to understand. Like the light now is coming on me. It's just giving light, but it is not manifesting anything. We can see the sun's rays is the best example. Sun's rays, when they fall onto the leaves, the rays, which look simple, manifest their power of making it into chlorophyll. In the same way, when you are at that height or at that state, then without saying anything, without doing anything, even a glance, you manifest. But not only that, but you record everything. Now higher stage is that your guru becomes a deity. Where you say Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo, Maheshwara. They go up to that point, but nobody says Guru is Devi. You can have a higher stage than Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesha. Because the Guru state is where you have the inner sense of all this Brahma and Mahesha and Vishnus. Their power of innocence. But then ultimately they say Guru Sakshat Parabrahma. And Parabrahma is the power of the mother that is flowing through you. So you become the instrument of that Parabrahma. But how? Not only by becoming, but now becoming the reflector of your deity. To develop yourself into the reflector from Guru to that state. At that state you start controlling all the elements. That's why all these incarnations of Adi Guru had control over elements. Brahmadeva is absolutely manifested through them. So out of Ganesha, which is the Adi Guru, he is born, or he is manifested through these three Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesha. And then he comes out as Brahmadeva with 4 heads. 3 of Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesha and the 4th of Sri Ganesha. So Brahmadeva becomes the symbol of Guru. My only, I shouldn't say desire because I don't have desire. So my only vision is that I should see all the service drenched in the power of love, enjoying each other's love, enjoying each other's relationship and improving relationships. I know there are problematic people, I know they are problematic. But if you cannot solve the problem, what's the use of your become masters? So I leave it to you to solve your own problems which are you are facing. And introspection with love and compassion, not by condemning yourself. I am sure you can manage it. May God bless you.